$500,000 in your retirement account gives you exactly $1,667 per month to live on. That's it. That's what the math says. Now, before you close this video and go cry into your 401k statement, hold on, because what I just told you is both completely true and potentially completely wrong, depending on 5 critical factors that most people never talk about. What's up, everyone? Matt here, and today we're answering one question. Can I actually retire on $500,000? Here's what's crazy. That same $500,000 could give you a comfortable retirement sipping margaritas on a beach in Florida, or it could have you eating ramen noodles in a studio apartment wondering why you ever left your job. The difference isn't luck. So first, let us break down the math. You've got $500,000 saved up. Good job. Here's what that actually means for your bank account every month. There's a concept known as the 4% rule, developed by financial planner William Bengen in 1994. The idea is simple. In your first year of retirement, you withdraw 4% of your portfolio, then increase that amount each year to keep pace with inflation. Based on historical U.S. market data, this approach was designed to allow a retirement portfolio to last at least 30 years. Bengen tested it across multiple rolling periods that included some of the toughest economic environments on record, from the Great Depression to major market crashes like 2008. It's not a guarantee, but historically, under specific assumptions, it held up more often than not. So using that rule, 4% of $500,000 works out to $20,000 a year. That's roughly $1,667 a month. In theory, that's a plan, maybe. In practice, it barely covers the basics in today's economy. And this is where those 5 critical factors I mentioned come into play. 1, your Social Security benefit. Social Security isn't one number, it's a range, and where you fall in that range changes everything about your retirement. Let me show you 3 real examples. First, there's low earner Larry, who worked mostly retail and service jobs, earned about $30,000 per year throughout his career. His Social Security benefit at age 67 is $1,400 per month. Add that to his $1,667 portfolio withdrawal, and Larry's got $3,067 per month total, or about $36,804 per year. Then there's average earner Amy, who had a solid middle-class career, earning about $60,000 per year. Her Social Security benefit is that $1,907 per month average. Combined with her portfolio withdrawal, she's at $3,574 per month, or $42,888 per year. Finally, we've got high earner Henry. He was a software engineer, maxed out his Social Security taxes most years, earned over $100,000 average throughout his career. His Social Security benefit is $3,200 per month. Combined with his portfolio withdrawal, Henry's pulling in $4,867 per month, or $58,404 per year. Same $500,000 in savings, 3 completely different retirement lifestyles. We're talking about a $22,000 per year difference between Larry and Henry. That's a whole new car every year, or 3 international vacations, or covering all your healthcare costs with money left over. And here's something most people don't know. You can check your exact projected benefit right now. Just go to ssa.gov, create an account, and you'll see what you'll get at 62, at full retirement age, and at 70. Takes 5 minutes. Do it today, because this one number changes everything. 2, location. Where you live isn't just important, it's the single biggest factor that determines whether $500,000 is enough. Let me prove it with real numbers from real people. Meet Susan. She wants to stay in New York City to be near her daughter. Noble, right? Here's her monthly reality on that $3,574 total. Income, she's renting a 1-bedroom in Queens because Manhattan is absolutely impossible. That's $2,400 right there. Utilities run her $150. Groceries in New York City cost about $400. Her Metro card is $132. Health insurance supplement before Medicare kicks in is $300. Add that up, and Susan spent $3,382 before we even talk about entertainment, clothing, phone, internet, or any unexpected expenses. She's got $192 left for everything else. 1 dental emergency, and she's dipping into her principal. 1 AC repair in July, and she's eating rice and beans for 2 months. Susan is stressed. Susan is not enjoying retirement. Now meet Karen, who moves to Knoxville, Tennessee. Same $3,574 income, completely different life. She's got a nice 2-bedroom apartment for $1,100, utilities are $120, groceries cost her $350, her car payment, insurance, and gas combined run about $450, health insurance supplement is $250, that's $2,270 total. Karen has $1,304 left every single month for dining out, travel, hobbies, saving for a new car, building an emergency fund, spoiling the grandkids. Karen is living her best life. The difference between New York and Tennessee? Karen has an extra $13,000 per year compared to Susan. Over 30 years, that's almost $400,000 in extra spending money. That's nearly as much as their entire original nest egg.
And if you really want to get aggressive about it, there's Robert. He moved to Merida, Mexico. His 2-bedroom house with a yard costs $600 per month. Utilities are $80, groceries run $300, transportation is $100. He's got private health insurance for $200, he eats out regularly for another $300, his total monthly expenses are $1,580. Robert has almost $2,000 per month in discretionary income. He's taking weekend trips to the beach, eating at restaurants 3 times a week, and still saving money every month. Now, I'm not saying you should move to Mexico. Maybe you love where you are. Maybe your whole family is there, and that matters more than money. But you need to understand the trade-off you're making. Every dollar you spend on higher cost of living is a dollar you can't spend on literally anything else. 3. Healthcare. This is where most retirement plans completely fall apart. Not because people don't plan for healthcare, but because they drastically underestimate what it actually costs. If you retire at 60, before Medicare kicks in, you're buying private health insurance for 5 years. In 2025, the average premium for a 60-year-old is $950 per month. Then you've got your annual deductible of about $7,000. So in that first year, you're looking at $18,400 just for healthcare, assuming you actually hit your deductible. That's nearly your entire $20,000 portfolio withdrawal gone. For 5 years straight, you're looking at over $90,000 minimum before Medicare finally shows up to save you. But even at 65, when Medicare kicks in, you're not done paying. Medicare Part B costs $185 per month. Part D, for prescriptions, averages $50 per month. You'll want either a Medigap supplement or Medicare Advantage plan. That's another $200 per month. And dental and vision aren't covered by Medicare, so add $100 per month for that. All in, you're looking at $535 per month, or $6,420 per year. Way better than $18,400, but still a chunk of change. Here's the scary part. Fidelity's latest study says the average couple retiring at 65 will need $315,000 just for healthcare over their retirement. That's separate from your living expenses. So if you've got $500,000 and you need to mentally earmark $315,000 for healthcare, you really only got $185,000 for everything else over 30 years. This is why retiring at 65 versus 60 is such a massive deal. Those 5 years save you over $90,000 in healthcare costs. Let your portfolio keep growing. Increase your Social Security benefit by waiting, and reduce how many years your money needs to last. 4. Inflation and investing. Here's something that keeps me up at night. Your expenses go up every year, but your savings don't automatically follow. Let's use real numbers. That $3,574 per month budget we talked about, with 3% average inflation, in 10 years, you'll need $4,800 per month to buy the same stuff. In 20 years, you'll need $6,454 per month. In 30 years, $8,677 per month. Your $400 grocery bill today becomes $722 in 20 years. That $1,100 rent becomes $1,988. This is why keeping all your money in a savings account earning 1% is financial suicide. You need growth to fight inflation, or you're slowly going broke while thinking you're being safe. Most financial advisors recommend keeping about 60% in stocks for growth and 35% in bonds for stability when you first retire, with maybe 5% in cash for emergencies. As you get older, you shift more toward bonds. The reason is simple. From 1926 to 2023, stocks averaged 10% annual returns, bonds averaged 5%, and inflation averaged 3%. If you're sitting in all bonds earning 5%, but inflation is eating 3%, you're only really gaining 2% in purchasing power. But if you're in a balanced mix getting 7% and inflation is 3%, you're gaining 4% in real terms. Over 30 years, that difference is absolutely massive. A 2% real return turns your $500,000 into almost $900,000. A 4% real return turns it into $1.6 million. But there's a risk here, and it's critical to understand. If you retire right before a market crash and start pulling money out while stocks are down, you can permanently damage your portfolio's ability to recover. This is called sequence of returns risk, and it's exactly as fun as it sounds. The solution is what they call a bucket strategy. You keep about 2 to 3 years of expenses in cash or very safe bonds. That's roughly $85,000 if you're spending $43,000 per year. If the market crashes, you're not forced to sell stocks at a loss. You just spend from your cash bucket while waiting for the market to recover. Meanwhile, that other $415,000 stays invested for growth. You refill your cash bucket during good market years. It's not sexy, but it works.
5. Debt. This is the factor that can make or break everything else we've talked about. Let me show you two people with identical $500,000 savings. First, there's debt-free Diana. She owns her home outright, no car payment, no credit card debt. Her monthly expenses are $2,800. Her monthly income is $3,574. She's got $774 left over every month, or about $9,300 per year. Diana is comfortable. She's building an emergency fund, taking a vacation every year, and sleeping well at night. Then there's debt-burdened Dan. He still owes $180,000 on his mortgage at $1,400 per month. He's got a car payment of $350, credit card debt payment of $200, plus those same $2,800 in other expenses. His total monthly expenses are $4,750. His income is still $3,574. Dan has a deficit of $1,176 every single month. That's $14,112 per year he's pulling extra from his principal. At this rate, Dan's $500,000 is completely gone in 17 years. He'll be 82 with no savings and just Social Security to live on. Diana, meanwhile, is actually building wealth in retirement. The biggest debate in retirement planning is whether you should pay off your mortgage before retiring. Here's my take. If your mortgage rate is under 4%, you could mathematically make more by keeping it and investing. But the peace of mind of no mortgage payment is worth a lot. With no mortgage, you need less income, which means less withdrawn from your portfolio, which means it lasts longer. Plus, if something goes wrong, health emergency, market crash, whatever, you're not stressed about losing your home. So, to answer the question, can you retire on $500,000 if you're debt-free, willing to be strategic about location, can manage healthcare costs, and have decent Social Security benefits? Yes, absolutely. If you're carrying debt, locked into an expensive location, retiring before 65, and have low Social Security benefits, probably not without major changes. But most people aren't failing retirement because they didn't save enough. They're failing because they didn't plan specifically enough. The median retirement savings for Americans aged 65 to 74 is $200,000 as of 2022. If you've got $500,000, you're already ahead of 60% of Americans. The question isn't whether it's enough in some abstract sense, it's whether it's enough for the specific retirement you want to live. Your retirement isn't determined by one number in your 401k. It's determined by the decisions you make about those 5 critical factors. Someone out there is living their dream retirement on $500,000, and someone else with $2 million is stressed and unhappy because they didn't plan properly. The money is just the tool. Your plan is everything. If this video gave you clarity on your retirement number, smash that like button. If you realize you need to make some changes, drop a comment and tell me which of the 5 factors you're going to optimize first. Subscribe if you want more straight talk about money. And remember, it's not about having the most money in retirement. It's about having enough money to live the life you actually want. Thanks for watching.